Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. If the government comes and tells you, or the intelligence community, which is also part of the government, comes and tells you that they have this information, the only thing I want you to do before believing that is go over the Iraq war and why the United States plus NATO countries invaded that sovereign independent country. And then you're going to find out that there were some reasons like Saddam Hussein supported and trained the attackers of, from the September 11th, 2001. Saddam Hussein has a program and possesses weapons of mass destruction, and it's an imminent threat that he will use them against us. That was another one. And then when those were added to the stack, the third one was bring freedom and democracy to Iraq. So remember, the first two were provided by the intelligence community, and therefore the government. So look over those and see their validity, how that played out, the third option, for Saddam Hussein and for Iraq. We brought them freedom and democracy. That would be part two of the homework. Check Iraq out and see how freedom and democracy works for them. Now we have here an article coming from the good free mass media, which is from United States of America, which is the credible media. And this is an NBC News article where they come and tell us that the intelligence community, again, tell us about what the Chinese are about to do. Therefore, we have to react somehow. So again, don't be skeptical. Just buy it because it comes from the free world, free press. And let's read a little bit from this little article. So this article comes from NBC News, and it is from today, the 26th of February, 2023. I personally get a little bit of a, allergy when I see this guy. It's just, he's everywhere, and he's everywhere because these guys right here, and guys like these guys, make him be everywhere. This tomorrow, you would not see a picture of him for the rest of your life, probably, in these guys, if they don't promote it. But they make this the most important thing of the planet, which I don't think it is. Anyway, China considers sending Russia artillery and ammunition, U.S. official says. So U.S. officials, who never lied to anybody, you can trust them, come and say that Russia is about to considers sending Russia ammunition and artillery. Well, it might be so, but if you were not born yesterday, maybe you are aware of that little story with a boy who cried wolf too many times. That is, he lied too many times, had fun, and then when things really happened, the adults did not come to save him or anybody else. So I have a big, I'm in that position where I don't believe these guys. They have to really come from, I don't want to say trusted sources, because I don't think anybody is to be trusted. You have to build trust. And you build trust by not catching them lying. They all lie. We all lie. If you didn't, that's very good, but I strongly doubt that. And if you didn't, you will. I guarantee you that by the time you go on the other side of this little game here, you will lie at least a few hundred times. Anyway, I'm exaggerating, but maybe not. So when these guys are telling me that sounds to me like the Iraq thing. As I said, it might be possible the Chinese do that, but then I will do the next step and think, okay, how can I change that? I mean, do I like that? Do I want that to happen? And if I don't, and obviously I don't, right? I don't want those guys to get on the evil side. They're almost there. What should I do as a country? Well, maybe I should talk with the Chinese. The problem is, you say, well, the relationship between China, and the United States is not a rosy one. And you want to look into it and say why. And then if you are dishonest, you realize that you were perfect and they were all evil. So here we go again. But if you are honest about it and not dishonest, then you might attribute some of the fault of the sour relationship to your actions as well. And that would be the first step to improving your relationship with someone else. If you say, I have done nothing wrong, but it's all you, then I don't think that's going to go anywhere. And if you don't recognize that you made some mistakes and you take responsibility for those, and you discuss with the other side as honest as you can, because they would be doing the same thing probably, they would try as honest as they can, then maybe you can prevent certain things from happening. So what I'm trying to say is that maybe part of the fault, if you want to call it this way, or the situation that is created is mine. Those guys jumped on that boat not because they are born evil, but maybe, and not maybe, I'm certain that we did something or some things to them that caused them to pick the other side. And I'm pretty sure, I know they did some things that we didn't like as well. So what I'm trying to say is a balance between what we did to them, what they did to us. The problem is we think that we didn't do anything wrong to them. We didn't ever. We are A-okay. All we do is just in the name of love, freedom, and happiness. Now I'm going to continue reading this article, about 2 or 3 more paragraphs, to see if these guys, what kind of evidence they will provide us, because they can come tomorrow and tell us that, I don't know, what's his name, Biden is a Martian. And you say, okay, all right, well, that's a statement. Now you need to bring evidence to support your claim, right? And then if you bring evidence and facts, okay, then we will consider that. Until then, it's just words. And words, as I said, mean nothing without trust. New intelligence. Now, this is, again, go to the homework number 1, Iraq War. Suggests China is considering. When you say considering, that means the Chinese government or whomever are over there in charge, they got around the table and they said, okay, man, what do you think? We should do that or we should not? That's for me considering. That means we're talking about it, right? So the decision has not been made yet. So they are considering, China is considering sending artillery and ammunition to Russia, according to 3 US officials familiar with the matter. This number 3 right here does not build trust to me, because they are all from the same group, okay? US officials. So it's like, hey, there were 3 Al Capone operatives who denied that Al Capone was engaged in tax evasion. And you say, well, there's 3 of them. So they can bring 5 of them and still will not build trust. Remember, truth is not based on democracy. Truth doesn't care about a democratic process. Truth is as it is. And one good example for that is look back into, for instance, Galileo Galilei. If you remember that Italian scientist, astronomist, he challenged through science, through evidence, proof, facts, that the Earth, the planet that we is not the center of the universe. Okay, so as the Euclidean ideology or theory, theory claimed that there's the stationary planet Earth, and every other moving thing around in the universe revolves around planet Earth. And he said, Galileo Galilei, now that was also taken by the church. In this case, it was Catholic Church. Catholic Church says, no, this is the Euclidean theory. That's the way it is. And they incorporated that into a Bible that is like this, all the stars stand, blah, blah, blah. Okay, whatever. So this guy, Galileo Galilei, who was alone, I mean not alone because there were some other scientists, astronomers like Giordano Bruno and others, who said, well, no, it's not, we challenge that. And the church jumped on this guy and any other one through their democracy, the numbers. I said, well, no, look at us. You're just alone. You can't be right. So that's one time, for instance, one instance that you can use to make a case that, if you have 5 idiots claiming one thing or 5 people claiming one thing, it doesn't mean anything unless they bring evidence. And if they say, what do you mean? We're 5 here, you're alone. I mean, that's a very juvenile way of thinking, or ideological way of thinking, going back to Galileo Galilei. So that thing over here with the 3 US officials, think of Al Capone, and also think to Galileo Galilei. What a combination. Al Capone will be very happy to be put in the same sentence with Galileo Galilei. But hey, I did it. The officials did not say what specific evidence they had to support intelligence that was also confirmed by NBC News by a former US official and a Western official briefed on the matter and originally reported by Wall Street Journal. All this means nothing right here. It's just, there were some former US officials, former gang member who vouches for Al Capone too. Oh, okay, all right. And by the way, it's not only that guy, is another gang member who vouches and confirms. No, thank you. So far it's just words coming from some people that I don't have any trust in. Why? Because I didn't build any. China's, on the contrary, they come from an organization that proved many times, many times, that they lie. If you want to go back to the Gulf of Tonkin, with grave consequences, I might add, it's not that they lied, hey, tomorrow is Wednesday. Well, nothing that doesn't affect anybody, if you just say that, but it affects people anyway. But in this case, they lied, for instance, in Vietnam. That's how the United States got in and got to drop napalm bombs, and 55,000 young Americans died for a Gulf of Tonkin, lie. When the US government came and said, well, we were attacked on the high seas by the Vietnamese boats in the Gulf of Tonkin, because Gulf of Tonkin is very close to California, Californian coast. You know what I mean? Just look, Google it, and you're going to find out that actually it's at the coast of Vietnam. So what were the warships, American warships, doing over there? But anyway, so that's what one of the pretexts used by the United States to go and Vietnamese people. So a lot of people died, not only Americans, but Vietnamese as well, based on a lie. So I'm a little bit, to put it mildly, skeptical when I hear about the United States government telling me something and the sources and the mass media agreeing with that. I personally have some doubts, and I encourage you to do the same. Why? Otherwise, I think you will be duped a lot of times, like I was. Now, China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs did not respond to NBC News' request for comments about the disclosure. All right? It's a disclosure. Someone says something, okay, which comes after Beijing put forward a 12-point peace plan on Friday, the first anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Now, I didn't find anything here, but these guys are building on it. So they take it as being already, how should I put it, as a fact. Because it says here, it could be a significant development if China did decide to provide arms to Russia. Why do you even, okay, that's a conversation, that's good. And this is a senior fellow at the Foreign Policy Research Institute. All right, think tank, blah, blah, blah. He added artillery ammunition available for Ukraine and Russia is arguably the single most important variable that could influence the course of the war. Correct. Correct. So they are talking now about if China will do that, if China will not do that. Before you get to discussing something that is not proven yet to be true, let's go to find out if it's true. You see, this article coming from NBC is not really concerned to find out, hey, are those weasels telling the truth, or they're just supposed to tell us this because of, you know what I mean, disinformation campaign. They're not concerned with that. What they do, they take that. Some people say something, some people alleged. They say disclosed. Disclosed is a little bit different. Disclosed is something else. But anyway, let's put it disclosed. That China could consider as blah, blah, blah. And now they're talking about that as a fact, as a scenario that's almost there. No. The job of the mass media is to report news. Go and report and find out if you have your little department of investigation in your little news department, news media outlet, and have those guys figure out if that is true or not. But talking and listen to people who talk, get some evidence, get some, I don't know, minutes of a conversation or meeting or something. If the intelligence community comes and tells us, that's not evidence to me. Why? Because I heard them many times coming and saying, well, they're going to do this. And when they're asked, okay, how do you know that? Well, it's confidential. It's top secret. I cannot share with you. Well, I can't take that as a fact because I can't just place my trust in you as an institution formed by people who people in general lie, and that institution has a bad record in telling the truth. So there's like strike two. Give me one strike that would tell me that I should trust you. You work in my behalf, well, you wouldn't lie to me. Or you lie to protect me, that means I'm an ignorant. So you can share certain things, but no, top secret. Well, I'm sorry, you can then come and claim that I'm a criminal, and you say top secret. Now you just go straight to jail. Well, can I fight that? No, it's top secret. You know, no, thank you. So anyway, let them bring more evidence on that, because I have doubts that that's possible. And let's do what they do. If that's possible, and if no, that's possible, I'm talking about probability. If that's probable, then I would look into my behavior and I would see maybe I need to change something, the approach to have those guys not do that. But they continue doing the same thing. Threats and blackmail. Biden was in an interview last night, I think. He said that we will react if that happens. The same thing, we will punch you in the face. Well, you already pushed these guys to a brink of, hitting back, punching back with your stupidity over there in the East Asia. So you got North Korea has nuclear weapons, you got China, nuclear weapons, angry and cornered, to put it mildly, because you're the force of good. And you expect these guys to do what? Not to align with ally with someone else? Because they're going to be next, somehow. So maybe the approach, but they keep doing the same thing, and they expect a different outcome. They dictate, they rule by force, they don't, and threats and blackmail. They don't rule by so-called international community, rule-based international order and bullshit. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.